Hello, Universal fans. It is me, Vincent. Welcome back to my channel. I've got another Epic Universe video for you guys. I feel like I haven't done one in a minute, but today I wanted to talk about my most anticipated rides for Epic Universe. My most anticipated rides and shows, I suppose, because now we know everything that is going to be at Epic Universe. And I thought this would be a really fun opportunity to sort of go through all of the experiences, kind of talk about them if you didn't know about them already, and share the ones that I'm kind of the least excited for to the number one, super hyped, I need to see this ride tomorrow. We're gonna cut right into it. There are going to be 13 attractions when Epic Universe opens up in 2025. Now, this is a mix of rides, this is a mix of shows, this is not including like character meet and greets and things like that. Number 13 on this list is going to be my least anticipated, the thing I'm not as excited for. Now, I should probably say that I'm excited for everything at Epic Universe, okay? I think this park is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be revolutionary. It's going to bring a lot of brand new experiences to the table. So number 13, something that's not super new. It's the Constellation Carousel, as you've probably figured out, is going to be sort of your more typical carousel. The way Universal has it set up is pretty unique. This isn't just go around in one big circle like most carousels. This actually rotates on different platforms. So I think the way I interpret it based off the video and the way it's been described is that it's spinning on one big platform, but then there's also smaller platforms that are spinning, and then the seats you're sitting on are also going to be spinning as well. And based off of pictures that we've seen of construction from the wonderful Bio Reconstruct, by the way, if you have any sort of like Twitter or social media account, please follow him. That is how you're going to get the best, most up-to-date photos of Epic Universe. It looks pretty awesome. It looks very pretty, very nice, but when you look at everything else that Epic Universe is going to be bringing to the table, this one is kind of your more traditional experience. So that's how the Constellation Carousel has landed number 13. Number 12 is going to take us over to How to Train Your Dragon's Isle of Berk, and that ride is going to be the Fire Drill, which is spelled F-Y-R-E, like Fire Festival. This type of ride is what they call a splash battle water ride. You're basically on a big, slow-moving boat that's going through outdoor scenes, and on this ride, it's meant to be like you're putting out fires for the dragons, like they're training you to blow the fires out with water. So this is basically Epic Universe's water ride. There is a version of this ride in Florida. It's at Legoland. It's called the Battle of Bricksburg. I have never done it myself, but I've seen it go by. This looks like a lot of fun for families and kids, and it also looks like it's gonna get you head to toe soaked. It's just like water cannons shooting at other water cannons, and there's definitely gonna be moments where you can like shoot at other boats and things like that. You know, obviously on a nice hot summer day, I'll be excited to do this ride, but it is kind of a simpler ride, I guess, compared to everything else at Epic Universe, and you're more than likely gonna get head to toe soaked if you ride this. So Fire Drill ends up at the number 12 spot. Number 11 is also in How to Train Your Dragon. This is a ride called Dragon Racers Rally. This is what they call a Skyfly ride. It's basically a stationary platform with a bunch of little seats that are on it, and it spins in a circle to make you feel like you're flying. What's cool about this ride is you actually can move the wings on your Skyflyer, and it's gonna allow you to twist and even go fully upside down while you're on the ride. So it's meant to be like you're, racing dragons or learning how to fly on a dragon or something like that. This is kind of more of like your standard amusement park ride that exists in other places. In the Mall of America in Minnesota, they have a theme park based off Nickelodeon, and they have a version of this ride called the Shell Shock, and it's basically the exact same thing. You might have seen videos of it. There is this lady who goes on the ride every single day and like spins it really, really hardcore. I thought for the longest time that like her seat malfunctioned or something when I watched this video, but that's not the case. She knows how to move it side to side. If you like twist the wings in a certain way, you can build momentum and just roll through. So this ride could be either really, really boring if you don't do anything, or it could be the most intense ride in Orlando if you just spin it over and over and over again. But kind of like the others I've said, this is a ride system that exists in other theme parks, and because of that, I'm not super, super excited for it. I mean, I'm gonna go on the ride when it opens, like obviously, just not as exciting as the other stuff at Epic Universe. My number 10 is gonna take us over to Dark Universe, and this is actually gonna be the Curse of the Werewolf Coaster. This is a spinning roller coaster that holds 4 people, 2 on each side, back to back, and it spins freely throughout the roller coaster track. I think the most direct comparison that I can think of is something like Crush's coaster in Disneyland Paris, which is just like a straight spinning coaster and it just moves based off like the movement and the weight of the ride. This one here, we've seen some videos of it going, and the concept art looks really cool. I need to say too that all of the lands look amazing and the theming looks awesome, so even if I'm not super excited for the ride, I'm still excited to like go through and see everything and see the queues. But based off what we've seen, this does look kind of like your basic family coaster. This is definitely like chill roller coaster compared to some of the other things you're gonna see at Epic Universe. In fact, Epic Universe seems in general to have a lot of family-friendly coasters, right? There's this one, there's the Hiccup roller coaster, there's Donkey Kong. Like, it's a pretty good park for families. It's a launch roller coaster, so it's gonna pick up speed to kind of get it over its hills, and I think it goes through multiple times based off the videos that I've seen, but I don't really know. All I know is that compared to all of the other big roller coasters and even some of the other family roller coasters, this one kind of seems maybe not as themed. There's supposed to be some elements with like the werewolf inside the hut and stuff like that, but this one I kind of got to wait and see how it goes. Number 10. Now my number 9 is going to be an interesting choice. This might be a controversial choice depending on how you look at it, but for me, my number 9 most anticipated ride is going to be Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. Now, the reason it's so low on the list for me is kind of more of a personal reason. I've been able to experience Mario Kart, so I'm not as excited for it as I would be normally. I've gone to Super Nintendo World in California. I've gotten to see it there. I've done it a small handful of times, and I liked the ride. It's a kind of a slow-moving dark ride. You have this big augmented reality visor that you wear, and you're shooting shells. It's meant to be like you're in Mario Kart. But I think a lot of people are going to think that this should be a faster, more thrilling ride versus the interactive video game-ness of Mario Kart. Does that make sense? I'll even admit, too, when I rode the Mario Kart ride for the first time, I wasn't super in love with it. I kind of got off, and I was really impressed with like the queue and the sets, but I didn't understand the game. And this is really gamey. There's a lot more to it. It's not like you're just shooting stuff. If you want to get the best possible score, get the most amount of coins, you have to turn the handle when it's time to turn it. You have to shoot certain characters and get certain power-ups, and you do have like, it's not unlimited ammo, you run out of shells. So like, there's a lot to it. So much so in a way that if a lot of people are only going to ride it one time, they're probably not going to like the ride getting off. So because of that, it's a little lower on my list. It's a really cool, ambitious ride. It's a really big ride. It's definitely meant to be like the big sort of tentpole ride in Super Nintendo World. I just think a lot of people are going to be confused by it. And also, since I've already experienced it, I'm not really excited for it, which I'm also glad that I've experienced it already because that just means I can go do the other rides while everyone rushes Super Nintendo World. Now, number 8 brings us back over to How to Train Your Dragon, and this is the Untrainable Dragon Show. I'm very excited for this. This show is a indoor theater show with live actors, a giant toothless dragon that flies over the audience with an actor on top of it, and I'm also very happy to see a major show here at Epic Universe. In fact, there's 2 major shows in the park. Universal has a bit of a show problem, in my opinion. I don't think there's enough shows in the parks, and I think the mindset for a lot of guests visiting is ride, 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 which is totally fine. Universal has amazing rides, but they also have some really great shows that I think often go overlooked. I'm excited to see the shows in this brand new theme park. When all of the rides are so busy and people are going to want things to do, they're going to have to check out these shows, right? And I think people are going to be blown away by the quality of these shows because everything I've seen from the Beijing version of this looks great. So I actually really like How to Train Your Dragon. I think those movies are great. I dare say underrated, especially when you look at all of the other lands at Epic Universe. I think a nice show like this is going to be great. I cannot wait to see it in person. Now, number 7 is a bit of a strange choice, maybe. We're going back to Super Nintendo World, and it's actually Yoshi's Adventure. Now, this is just a slow-moving track ride. You sit on Yoshi's back, and it takes you through Super Nintendo World. And honestly, I know there's some sort of like interactive element to it where like you can hit the eggs when you see the colored eggs and like I don't know what happens, but that's not the part I'm excited about. The part I'm excited about is that this ride has the potential to be like the people mover for Super Nintendo World. And if you have been to the Super Nintendo in Japan or California, you know that park is amazing. The land itself is incredible. It feels like you're in a video game. There's so many moving parts. There's so much stuff happening. It truly is like one of the best lands that Universal has made. So if there is a ride that is outdoors, gets you scenic views of Super Nintendo World, I am very, very excited for that. I am all for that. Also, it's just a simple little ride, you know? I just want a little ride. I can sit in the car and go slow and look at everything and be like, wow, this is so fun and so pretty. And I can like check my phone or something like that and take pictures, you know, while I'm up there. Universal needs chill rides, okay? I love the Velocicoaster, but do I want to ride the Velocicoaster every single day of my life? Yes. But not every 5 minutes, you know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean I'm trying to say? We need rides like this, and I'm excited for this to be a scenic ride over one of Universal's coolest lands that they've ever built. So much going on. Yoshi's Adventure, I think, is going to be very, very cool. Also, I've never experienced it. I have not done Universal Studios Japan yet, and it'd be cool to see. Now, number 6 is another ride in Super Nintendo World. It's Donkey Kong's Minecart Madness. This is going to be a roller coaster ride. It seats 4 people, and the way it is designed, it is a track and a fake track, and the roller coaster is going to appear as if it's jumping from one track to another, like the Donkey Kong video game. I cannot wait to see what this looks like in real life. This is going to be a really fun ride, and this is also kind of, I guess, fills the quota of like a thrill ride at Super Nintendo World. Even though this ride is not going to be super intense, or at least I don't think it is, it has a really low height requirement. It's going to be 36 inches, which is one of Universal's lowest height requirements. That is the Flight of the Hippogriff. That is the Troller Coaster. The only thing lower than that is E.T. at 34 inches. I see that as the roller coaster not being super intense. But it does have like a launch. It has some dips, but it doesn't seem to have any like big drops or anything like that. I think this is going to be a really great family thrill, but I do worry that like the element of jumping from one track to another is only going to really translate well to people who are seeing the ride from the outside and then people in the front row. And this is a little small car, so you got to hope you end up in the front row for this one here so you can watch yourself jump to the other track. Everything that they've shown us, that whole little section looks really cool. I can't wait to be on the ground floor looking at all of it in person. It's going to be bananas. Sorry, it was really easy. Now we're entering the top 5, and my number 5 is going to be the Circus Arcanus show in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It's going to be a big sit-down theater show at Epic Universe. There's going to be magical creatures and beasts and things like that, and this one is kind of higher up on the list for me just because I think a indoor Harry Potter show with a theme park budget has the potential to be really, really impressive. I have seen Harry Potter and the Cursed Child in New York City, the Harry Potter play, and I was blown away by it. I thought it was so impressive. All of the things that they were able to achieve in that theater were really impressive. Like, it is such a cool show. The magic, the Dementors. Now imagine that, but at Universal, with Universal money, maybe a little bit of Warner Brothers money put in there too to help make this thing extra special. And you've got this, what I hope is going to be a really grand indoor show. This one is kind of harder to talk about because we don't really know that much about it. There's no other version of this show, which I guess it also gets points for being a unique show at Epic Universe, right? No other theme park has this show. But I guess we're going to kind of have to wait and see what the show is going to be like. But I do think that this has potential to be a must-do, and I am all for more big sit-down shows at the theme parks, at the Universal theme parks specifically. Number 4 is Stardust Racers. Oh man, I'm sorry. Starfall Racers just sounds so much cooler. It'll always be Starfall Racers to me, but they had to change the name for whatever reason. Stardust Racers is going to be Epic Universe's dual launch roller coaster. This is going to be the park's big thrill, and it looks amazing. I'm very excited for this one because I never got to experience Dueling Dragons in its heyday. I only got to ride the ride after it stopped dueling, but everything that I've been told about it tells me that it was an awesome experience, a super thrilling, exciting ride. I'm excited to see that for Stardust Racers. Just the way the track has been laid out, where they're going side to side, and the videos that have come out of people getting drone footage of the coasters testing or whatever, it looks so cool. I cannot wait to be going alongside another roller coaster, having it fly over my head. It's a launch roller coaster. I love launch roller coasters. My favorite thing about a roller coaster is when it goes fast, the speed, and this one has a really great launch. This one has, like, it seems to go under the station that shoots you up the big hills, big drops. This roller coaster seems to have it all. And guess what? There's 2 of them. It looks super thrilling, but not super extreme. I think this also has kind of a lower height requirement. I believe it's 48 inches, which, to put things in perspective, it looks very similar to the Velocicoaster, but the Velocicoaster has a height of 51 inches. All I can say about Stardust Racers right now is that it looks beautiful. It looks like it's going to be a really awesome roller coaster. Cannot wait to ride it. Now, number 3, I kind of thought about switching it with number 4, but Hiccup's Wing Gliders in How to Train Your Dragon looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. This looks like a really big, grand roller coaster. This roller coaster does something that Stardust Racers doesn't. It goes through the environment, and this is gonna fly you through the Isle of Berk. And to me, it earns a couple more points just because of that. This is gonna be a family coaster, don't get it twisted. I think it's like a 40-inch height requirement, and based off what we've seen, it doesn't look super intense, but we've also seen it go through the water. It goes through the rafters of Dragon Racers Rally, and it seems to have show scenes with like Hiccup and Toothless. There's probably gonna be onboard audio for this roller coaster, if I could assume. And if it does have that, that means you're gonna get that epic How to Train Your Dragon theme, the bam, 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 flying through the Isle of Berk. The way I've mapped out my day at Epic Universe, this is gonna be like my sunset section. I'm gonna wait to go to this land as the sun is setting. I wanna ride this roller coaster. I wanna fly on my dragon as the sun is setting through the Isle of Berk. Come on, that sounds so cool, right? So I'm very excited for this roller coaster because of that. I love the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I think this is gonna be a really great roller coaster. I think for families and kids, they're gonna eat this up. So I cannot wait to see this in person. I cannot wait to fly on my own dragon at the Isle of Berk. Now, number 2 is in the Dark Universe, and this is the Monsters Unchained ride. Based off what we know about this ride, this appears to be a Kuka Arm style ride, very similar to Forbidden Journey, but with a lot more animatronics. That's what everyone's saying, at least. We haven't seen it yet. I think this ride has the potential to be a lot of people's favorite ride at Epic Universe. I know a lot of people have been talking about it already, and something that I've kind of grabbed from the Dark Universe announcement video that Universal put out was that this ride is going to be the scariest ride that Universal has ever made. And let me tell you something, Universal knows how to make scary stuff. They have Halloween Horror Nights. They basically created the classic movie monsters that this land is based off of. So when they say that this ride is going to be scary, I believe them. I'm very, very excited to see this. I cannot wait to see the queue as well. The building looks so awesome. And if this really is a mostly animatronic experience, I think that's going to be super cool too. There's another type of ride like this that I've never gotten to do because it's all the way in Dubai. They have it at, I don't know the park, but they have a Batman ride. And it's a Forbidden Journey style ride, but it's themed off of Batman. That ride system lends itself so well to rides like this, and you can move the vehicle in whatever way. You can have it look in certain directions, so you can have it get close to animatronics and things like that. Like, I think this ride is going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see it. But Dark Universe is a land I'm gonna have to like wait for. I wanna be there at nighttime. That's when you're gonna really get to experience the true Darkmoor, when it's dark and cloudy and the lights from the castle of Victoria Frankenstein. It's actually it right there, I think. Yeah, I got this. I don't know if you can see that. This art right over here. It's very cool. I bought it on Etsy. I'm pretty excited for Dark Universe. I'm very excited for Monsters Unchained. I think that is going to be a standout ride at Epic Universe. Now, my number 1 leaves us with Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, which this is the big Harry Potter ride. I have never been disappointed by a Harry Potter ride. I remember the first time I rode Forbidden Journey, rocked my socks, amazing. I remember the first time I rode Gringotts, unbelievable, 10 out of 10. And I remember the first time I rode Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. What an amazing ride. Universal has got the juice with those Harry Potter rides, okay? And for some reason, they always go super, super all out for those rides. And based off of everything from the announcement video, based off people's like speculation and rumors and things like that, this ride seems to be like the rise of the resistance of Universal, as in the biggest scale, the most ambitious, one of the best rides they have ever made, one of the best rides they will ever make. And like I said, there's really not that much we know about the ride system. A lot of people have speculated that it's going to be a mixture of like a Tower of Terror style ride with motion simulators, where it's going to be able to rise and fall up a couple levels and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to like free fall 100 feet like the Tower of Terror does, but it'll be able to move up and down to simulate you're going up and down on a Ministry elevator. There's a very quick scene with a Dementor casting spells that is clearly an animatronic, which is so exciting. I'm hoping that there are a lot more animatronics. I'm hoping that there are giant environments. There's one little bit from that Harry Potter video where they talk about the smallest building in the Paris area is bigger than the tallest building in Diagon Alley. So just that land itself is gonna be beautiful and impressive and amazing. The ride is gonna be impressive as well. And I love the idea of taking the Floo network, like going down a little hallway, and I don't know how they're gonna do it, but like go through the fireplace and now you're in the Ministry of Magic. And like, I better be in this gigantic room with the giant full-scale statue. I'm not even the biggest Harry Potter fan in the world. Like, I like Harry Potter. Like, obviously I'm very familiar with it because I go to Universal all the time. I think that's gonna be so cool. And that's really the great tell of a theme park ride, right? Even if you're not the biggest Harry Potter fan, you still go on Hagrid's motorbike adventure and are like, super impressed with the ride. You still have a great time. I only have one bit of advice for you for Epic Universe based off of everything we know, and that's gonna be go to the Harry Potter ride first, because I feel like this ride is gonna break down all the time. It's gonna be an amazing, incredible experience if you can get on it. Rise of the Resistance now to this day still breaks down. There's certain effects on that ride that don't work anymore. You wanna be there and you wanna see it in its full glory, working at 100%. But yes, that is really all I've got. That is my list of rides at Epic Universe. I hope this video was entertaining to you. What rides are you most looking forward to at Epic Universe? And for those who are stumbling upon this video, watching my stuff for the first time, thank you for watching. Please, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe for more Universal videos like this one. For those of you who have been watching and you're looking to support me a little extra, please consider joining my Patreon. You can be like all these wonderful people around me here. These guys help me out make videos. I'm currently building up to something very exciting that, with help from the Patreon, is going to make possible. So be on the lookout for that. I don't think I've formally announced it yet, but I have definitely hinted at it in a lot of videos. Thank you guys for watching another Vincent Vision. I hope you had fun having fun with me, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.